A number of Charleston area homeowners are out thousands of dollars after hiring one Mount Pleasant builder. 2 years ago, they didn't know each other, but the five people say because of him, plans for their dream homes turned into a nightmare.
We didn't want a house that we had to go up and downstairs a lot.
Richard Burke is just weeks away from the rest of his life in this home.
And now we're going to put brick on the bottom.
The dream began more than 2 years ago when he bought this land in Awanda and hired Moss Construction and its owner Josh Zalweg to build a home.
So this is your retirement home?
This is it.
It's going to be the last home?
This is the last one. Yeah.
Okay.
And now I have to go to the home, I hope.
He looks forward to the day he and his family can finally settle in. But that day won't come for a while. Burke now faces liens and court summons from subcontractors he says Zalweg hired but never paid.
We weren't here. We'd paid him $140,000. We thought the process was moving forward. He was sending us updates. I came out here one day and we had a tree lot. And I was kind of like, what's going on here? So that's when I started to get a little suspicious about what was happening.
Burke had a construction loan with a local bank branch. He understood the bank was to notify him anytime Zalweg took a bank draw, and also the money taken out would match the amount of work finished.
Tell me about when your radar went off a little bit.
When I got a foreclosure notice from my bank.
3 draws, $175,000 gone from the account, and Burke had no idea.
This is the builder.
Uh-huh.
This is a witness. Mm-hmm. Then that's me,
Owner.
Which is not me.
You did not sign this?
No. So
Does this even look like your signature?
No.
Not only that, Burke says little work had been done to the house. Not enough to justify the draws.
There was no house, there was no construction site, there was just a tree lot.
He says he then took more control of the money. He started receiving invoices for every draw request, but even that still didn't protect him from debt.
The issue is that when the bank comes out and says, okay, there's 60% of the house here, 60% of the house of the money taken, it equals. What they didn't verify was that there was money paid to the subcontractors that had done the work.
So Burke and 4 others contacted the I-Team, all with similar stories. There's Mark Fish.
Basically, he took over $50,000 from us, and at this point I have a lot that has one stake in it.
Linda Ryan.
So right now we have 4 liens on our house and a foreclosure on our house because of the work that was done that Josh didn't pay.
Darren Messer.
And then when that first draw left our hands, I mean, it did. It was a whole different experience. And ever since then, it's just been a nightmare.
And Betsy Hopkins.
That we discovered that between, I think, June and September, they had released $195,000 to him without us knowing.
They all bear an emotional burden.
He's really affected a lot of people. He's ruined a lot of lives. And he just can't do this to someone else.
And they all say Zalweg left jobs unfinished, claiming he was out of money.
Realistically, looking back at it, I mean, he was in debt when I signed the contract. Why he didn't blow the whistle when he knew he was in dire straits is just wrong.
Just since June, Josh Zalweg's name appears in more than a dozen lawsuits in Charleston County, most of them filed by subcontractors who claim they weren't paid. And in July, Mark Fish and Darren Messer filed a report with Mount Pleasant Police, and detectives are investigating. Richard Burke is now paying another builder to finish his home.
Are the workers in here every day now?
Every day now.
Paying to clean up the mess Zalweg left.
When his home is finished, Burke will have paid more than $1 million, almost double what the house will be worth. He and Linda Ryan also still face liens from Buck Lumber, a subcontractor that Zalweg suggested and hired. I also spoke to Buck Lumber's attorney, who told me this. Quote, Buck Lumber provided materials used in the construction of projects by Moss Construction, and Buck Lumber has not been paid for these materials. Buck Lumber is working with all parties in an attempt to resolve this unfortunate situation.
Libba, we have seen these type of stories time and time again about contractors and the people losing their money. It's so frustrating for everyone involved. Did you get in touch with Josh? Were you able to contact him?
Well, I certainly tried to. I tried getting in touch with Josh Zalweg several times with no response. So now I'm looking into what lawmakers might do about protecting homeowners, and I'll have that story coming up at a later date.
Look forward to it. Thank you, Libba. Remember, if you have something you want the I-Team to investigate, email us at iteam@wcbd.com.
You can also call the I-Team hotline, 843-216-4949.